Boys are back now.
So much that I got an All Might tattoo.
Wow.
That's how much I like it. I'm not a big fan of Go, I'd say, probably.
What are our stands on like piracy in the anime industry? A lot of the artists and illustrators on anime, they're overworked and underpaid. Yeah. And so is it really fair that you're paying all this money for Crunchyroll and stuff?
He's mean to people, but he trusts them and he expects them to do things. And a lot of the other characters kind of like try and protect each other, whereas he's like, no, we're going to do this and you're going to do this. And he won't say it, but he's like...
I've come to talk with you again.
Welcome back to another episode of FAP. It's been a while. It's been a few months. September. I was calculating in my head how many months it's been since the last episode, but I can't really figure it out. So it's about 6 months. So a long time since FAP has been on the down low. But welcome to episode 5. I'm obviously joined by my beautiful guests, Steve and Lewis. How are you boys doing today?
Sound as a pound, mate.
Got a few more grays since our last episode, but other than that, I'm quite good.
Good.
Both on that front. Even I've sprouted grays now on the sides. We're coming silver foxes.
Yeah. I've had a few more grays. Like you can't see it now because of the lighting, but I've got like 3 here, and then a few there. I think we're all right until we start getting grey hairs on our beard. When we start getting grey hairs or eyebrows, eyebrows are going to be the worst. I might dye my eyebrows when that happens, to be fair.
I already do, so it's fine.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah,
right. I don't feel too bad. Today's going to be a pretty chilled episode. It's going to be like the return of the boys. The boys are back now. I know the format before was like we used to watch an anime and then review it and stuff, but I kind of want to get away from that because I think we're pretty limited to what we talk about if we do it that way. Also, if we have like a free-flowing conversation, we can talk about all sorts of things. And then it'll give you guys opportunity to add your own topics if you want to hear topics from us, and then it doesn't restrict us to like reviews. And I think it's just going to be like an overall better experience for everyone, including us, I think, where we could just talk about stuff rather than like stick to certain things and have to like... I feel like I gave you guys homework on the last episode, just like we have to watch this. We have to watch this anime because we want to review this anime.
200 damn episodes
by Friday. Get it done.
Get it done. Don't care what you do.
I can
call in
shoot the
sick.
breeze. It's a lot better.
Yeah. So there's not really. There's probably is a topic if we have time, but today it's just like I said, it's going to be a chilled one. It's going to be like what we've been doing for the last 6 months. What anime have we been watching in the last 6 months? What we've been thinking of the animes, and what animes we're looking forward to. There's a lot of anime that's coming out, and I wanted to know if there's anything you guys are looking forward to. If there's anything you're looking forward to like rewatching as well, if you do want to rewatch it. So let's start with what we've been watching. Lewis, take it away.
I mean, I'm still quite new to anime, so obviously I only started when Joel started this really, so I really got into it, other than watching One Punch Man. I finished Naruto, so in our first episode we spoke about, I think we got episode 80 of Naruto.
Yeah.
I finished all 220 episodes of the original series.
Including all the filler.
Including all the fillers and all the films. And it is quite a drop-off when you finish the main story and it does like 60, 70 episodes of filler. There's like one good arc.
Yeah.
It was alright. I had tried to watch Shippuden, but I felt like I was just done with the franchise, the anime at that point. I'm going to return. I got about 40 episodes into Naruto. I finished that. I think I watched the first arc of Shippuden. I do enjoy it. It is quite up my alley because it feels very superhero-esque anyway, which is definitely my scene. So I did enjoy that. Steve, did you finish Naruto or did you surrender?
No, I surrendered at the point where it stops episode 102, just as it started going into the fillers. It was separating off.
Oh, but you've watched the main plot though?
Yeah, that's when the main plot ends,
You've
right?
watched the canon, so Sasuke Naruto fight at the end of that.
Yeah, so now it's just basically fillers for like 60
All right,
episodes.
I went away you'd finished it to that point. Well, we can talk a little bit about that. What did you guys think of that fight between Sasuke and Naruto? Do you think it was well done? Do you think it was a bit like too long maybe? What are your thoughts?
I was kind of burnt out by that point, to be fair. So
yeah,
I mean, it's 2005, wasn't it? 2004. So you can't expect much from like animation and stuff. I thought it was pretty good. I think you got a bit more about Sasuke. I think I did still finish it, and when we watched the first episode of FAP, I did say I didn't really like Sasuke as a character.
Yeah.
I know he's a antagonist. I know he's going to get his redemption eventually, but it feels like a long, stretched out redemption.
yeah, Sasuke's a weird character because he goes through a lot of stuff. Like everything he goes through throughout the anime, you can understand why he's going through that and like what's going on in his head and stuff. But his ideals get like warped all the time. So sometimes he's an antagonist. There's another time that he's like it's just a straight up psychopath. There's another one where he's just confused. Like he goes through like a lot of phases. I like him because he's so complex. Because he's like, you put yourself in his shoes and you think if those specific things happen to you, like how would you react? And again, yeah, he is Naruto's opposite, because obviously Naruto is, regardless of what happens to him, he's always got that ideal of being good and helping other people and trying to help. While Sasuke is he's just warped. He's like
one's more one-dimensional, one's more complex.
Yeah.
One develops.
Definitely.
Yeah. There's some really good supporting characters in Naruto though. Like Shikimura, what's he called? Shikamaru. God, you know what? It's because I've been watching so much My Hero. I'm just like merging all the names. Obviously, I love Akiba and Akamaru, and he's probably my favorite character. And then, what's the Toadmaster called?
Toadmaster, Jiraiya.
Jiraiya.
Perfect Sage.
Perfect Sage.
He's my favorite. This has to be.
And just because I've watched a bit of Shippuden as well. Obviously, Naruto ends with Naruto going off to train with Jiraiya for like 2-3 years, and he comes back, and like I just feel like they've got a really good bond.
Yeah.
Come back, like Jiraiya's really like father figured him.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good. Like how much like Jiraiya knows how strong and powerful Naruto is, and no one else does. And I think I like that sort of father-son thing they've got going on.
Yeah.
Almost pretty good though. It's I can't really I see it. I don't know if it's better than Dragon Ball Z or not. Probably isn't.
I think personally it is, because it's like the villains especially have a bit more depth. Whilst like most villains in Dragon Ball, it's like, well, taking away the new Broly now, the main villain is like, I want to take over the universe, I want to be the strongest in the universe, and I want to destroy the universe. It's like it's just like straight to the point. Whilst in Naruto, there's reasons for why they're doing what they're doing, and there's reasons for why they want to do what they want to do. Like Akatsuki, the organization. Like they get a bit more in depth, and there's a lot of like twists where like you think this guy's a leader and he's the one behind everything, but then he's not really. There's somebody else behind him, then there's somebody else behind him, and then there's somebody else behind him.
What I'll say to that is that's Shippuden.
Yeah.
So if we're just talking about Naruto, like I know
it's just to keep you like involved, and obviously maybe to spark up the little spark again in you, Steve, because the first arc of Shippuden is pretty slow compared to the rest of Shippuden. It is pretty slow.
Kakashi spends 5 episodes charging up an attack, very much like Goku.
God,
what's going on, man?
Yeah,
he's like jumping through this like trench for like 5 episodes, and you're like, dude, come on.
Again, but it'll explain why it takes that long as well. Like further on, like Naruto tends to explain things a lot better than Dragon Ball does. Dragon Ball, it just seems to be like it just is that way. There's no like explanation behind it. Whilst Naruto, like, because something is like that, it'll explain to you why it's like that. But they do leave it quite late to do that.
Yeah, fair enough. I think I will revisit at some point, but just some stuff I want to get through first.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
You've been spoiled by other animes recently.
I have.
There's been a lot of good ones though. To be fair, it is hard to
some mint animes as of late.
Yeah, you're now I'm the casual now out of all this. We both came into this being fairly new to anime, and now you've progressed several tiers above me.
I would probably say I'm at the moment I'm watching about 10 to 12 episodes a week now.
Of anime.
Which is like I've taken a break. I'm kind of going through Demon Slayer, which I'll talk about in a moment, but I'm only watching that quite casually in the background.
Right.
But I've been rewatching some stuff. I suppose we'll just bring on to my main point of what I've been watching, which is...
Hey!
So My Hero Academia, obviously we reviewed season 1, and I thought it was amazing. And I've watched all 5 seasons now. I've watched the first 2 films, still haven't watched the newest film because you can't actually get it on stream anywhere. And I don't really want to pirate it yet. I don't think I want to pirate it. I'd rather watch it probably, but... and now I would say it's not only my favourite anime, it's my favourite TV show of all time. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So much that I got an All Might tattoo.
Wow.
That's how much I like it. All Might tattoo. And I've got in the background. got the game now, which I haven't played. I just think it's absolutely sensational. Someone who comes from a superhero, raised on superheroes, I think it tells superhero stories better than the MCU does, quite frankly.
Just think this is the man who wasn't even into anime really, and now he's got a tattoo.
Yeah.
And they've also got Spider-Man tattoo as well. But yeah, honestly, I think it's just fantastic. I think the main character Deku is great. The supporting cast, All Might, Shoto, Endeavor, and Bakugo has grown on me a little bit. But again, that's an example of like how it took after 150 episodes of watching Sasuke, I still didn't like him at all. Whereas after 100 episodes of My Hero, I'm like, I can kind of see, understand, catch on Bakugo's background more, and I find him more relatable. Not much, but that's good character development. Obviously but then those two characters are heavily based, I think anyway, as a casual anime consumer. These like Deku and Kachan are very much based on Naruto and Sasuke or Goku and Vegeta. Like that kind of like supporting character who always feels like a step behind the main character, because that's very much how
a rival
Bakugo feels to Deku, who always feels like he's a little step behind. And that's obviously how Vegeta it always feels. So there's definitely like inspirations from the older animes. Obviously, it's still Shonen, the same company that made them all. I think it's interesting as well. The guy who wrote My Hero, he wrote and did everything for it. He did all the artwork, all the character design. It's only him. If you look at the credits for the manga, which I've started reading, it's just him, which I think is insane. That some one person could just create all of this so well.
I'm imagining him in my head, and I can just see this guy with just like grey hair, white hair, bags under his eyes the size of like half the moon, just completely drained, like this skinny dude with just a pencil.
But a mind of a genius.
So is he the new Toriyama then, essentially? You think he's got the potential?
Potentially.
Oh, I think so. Oh, definitely.
Honestly, yeah, I just think it's one hell of a TV show. I think anyone who is watching this hasn't seen it is honestly missing out on something special.
Have you caught up on My Hero, Steve?
Nah, I'm still at season one.
Right.
I've been catching up on old animes and rewatching older stuff.
Right.
But I absolutely, like I said, from all the ones we've done, that was the best one we watched. I liked it better than Naruto.
I just didn't know how far, because I was about to like ask about like certain fights in the season, so just we'll leave that.
Hey, you can talk about them because
no.
With how bad my memory is, mate, I'll forget by the end of the episode.
Yeah, but you want it fresh. You don't even want like a glimpse when you're watching it. You don't even want that little idea of like, oh, that's what they were talking about. You just want it to be fresh. It's like some of the fights on like the later seasons are just absolutely epic.
Season 3 is my favourite. So when I went into it, I remember Josh saying that the season gets progressively worse. And I don't think that at all. I think season 1 is excellent but slow because it's introducing the characters. Season 2, most seasons, this isn't a spoiler, have like 2 arcs in them, and there's always a school arc. So it's kind of like the kids go to school, and then after the school arc of training, something happens.
Yeah.
And season 2 is like that, and both arcs are fantastic. Season 3 has so much big moments in it for like the whole universe. It's the best to me. Season 4 still amazing. Season 5 is slow, but then the last half of it is some of the best.
So there's still the academies every single season then. So it's academy, something big happens, academy, something big happens.
Yeah.
So it's basically like the Harry Potter of the anime world with superheroes.
Pretty much.
It is actually like that because Harry Potter gets darker as the films go on. It gets a bit more mature as the films go on. My Hero Academia is exactly the same. It does by the end of the 5th season, it gets very, very dark and very, very mature. There's like very mature scenes. Like you're going to compare the end of the 5th season to like the end of the 1st season. It's like night and day.
Yeah, it's different.
It's
different.
Definitely different.
I mean, by the end of the Half-Blood Prince, which is the 6th in the series, that's when there's the last normal glimpse of that normal Hogwarts and it goes into dark territory, and then Deathly Hallows is completely dark as hell.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much the vibe that My Hero Academia is going. And I think from the little cliffhanger from season 5, it's going to get even worse from that point.
Definitely.
A lot more mature.
Sounds
as
awesome.
well. It's the character development of Deku is just phenomenal. Like,
it is.
He starts off as such an afraid child and just doesn't think he can do anything. And now
A
he's
whiny
like, brave
kid.
Superhero. Yeah, he's a whiny kid now. Then by the end of it, he's a brave superhero. He's probably got too much progression. You could probably argue that for being 15, because season 5 still like I think season 5 is the end of 1 year.
I don't think that's like too much because look at. I hate talking about it because Steve's like got no idea, but like just imagine.
I can mute myself.
His quirk and what's developed
Yeah,
there's so much more to come.
Yeah,
so much more to come.
But yeah, that's it. We'll move on without spoiling it for anybody. But it's awesome.
Yeah,
and I love
it is. It is.
That is true. It's not just
definitely
me, everyone else as well who might not have seen it.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's one of the most popular animes. It's just because it's just fantastic.
Yeah,
it's just so good.
We'll try as much as possible not to spoil anything. Obviously, if it's like a really old anime, a really popular one, then the odd. We'll try not to like say specific things, but we'll sort of like word it around it, like we have done now with like My Hero Academia. Like
vague references.
Yeah, people who have watched it will know what we're talking about, and then people who haven't will still be like intrigued, like, oh, what are they talking about? What about you, Steve? What have you been watching?
Well, I've completed my rewatch of Dragon Ball.
The original.
Yes, which is obviously my favorite. That's why I've got so many Dragon Ball merchandise.
How many episodes is it?
Not actually sure, to be honest with you. There's five seasons, is it?
It's only about 100 in there.
It's not that many, but again, there's a lot of filler in there, to be honest. That you could probably skip. The main highlights are the tournaments, like in season 2, is it, I believe.
There's a lot of like mature themes as well.
There is. There's
quite a lot of nudity.
Yeah, in the first episode.
Yeah, like Bulma was quite frisky. In Dragon Ball.
Yeah, she's all over the place. And
Proper.
Master Roshi. That's why I love Jiraiya so much, because Master Roshi is like the original.
Yeah.
He's the original turtle hermit, complete perv.
Yeah.
The scene is always seared into your brain of Bulma lifting up a skirt on the beach because he wants to see. And she has no idea she ain't got no underwear on because Goku's took it off later.
Yeah.
Earlier on when he woke up. And she found out later on. It's absolutely amazing. The nosebleed gifts.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You can tell the joy.
It's crazy how like Dragon Ball may not be, and it by far isn't the best anime ever made, but it created such like a ramp for other anime to build upon. Because like I remember reading on Quora, I'm on this like anime thing on Quora, and somebody asked like, why isn't Demon Slayer like one of the top 3? Because the top 3 back then was like Bleach, Dragon Ball, and Naruto. And it's like, it's just because an anime is good doesn't mean it has to be in like the top 3. Like the top 3, I think or the big 3 is like I said, it's like the ramp for like these new anime now to like build upon. Demon Slayer is very similar to, it's a bit of a mix between Bleach and Naruto. Like with the swords and powers of the swords and stuff, and like the effects and stuff.
Well, I've started Demon Slayer, so I'm 9 episodes in, and that doesn't sound like much, but there's only 40 episodes.
It's only been 2 seasons. 26, and there's a movie or something, and there's extra episodes, something, right? According to Crunchyroll.
Yeah, the movie like kicks off season 2.
Yeah, season 2 is only like 14 episodes,
right?
And it's pretty good. When I compare it to My Hero season 1, there's been no moments like My Hero. Like My Hero season, by episode 6 of My Hero, it'll hook you because there's an amazing moment at the end of season 5, episode 5 or 6. But there's a few in 1 or 2, and Demon Slayer doesn't have that really at all. And the main character is decent. I think it's just okay. I don't know what the hype is yet. I haven't finished anything in it yet, so if there's stuff building up to it. I don't think the demon design's particularly good. I think they look quite ridiculous, a lot of the demons. And
they're a bit out there.
Yeah, they're out there, and but it's not like out there in like grotesque ways. It's out there in like, most of them just like look like vampires, and the other ones just look like crossbreed between like people and animals. And you're like, is this creative or is this just like mishmashing?
Personally, I enjoyed it. Like, I think the art style is absolutely top notch. Like the effects and stuff, and the
animation's unreal.
The animations, they're really, really good.
I got about 1.5 episodes into it last night before I fell asleep. And in that first episode, I was amazed by the detail of it's all digital.
Yeah.
You can tell it's beautiful.
It's
so smooth.
I find it has a lot of frame drops though. That's one thing that I was a bit like, but still.
I think the animation is considerably better than My Hero. I do think that.
It is more recent as well though.
Yeah. But even like My Hero came out season 5 came out in 2020, and obviously Demon Slayer came out after that. Before that, and I would say season 1 Demon Slayer looks better than season 5 for My Hero.
It's different styles. It's different styles, though, isn't it? When you do it digitally, you've got a lot more range. I think that's why Dragon Ball are now going digital as well. I don't know how I feel about that with the new film. Have you seen the trailer for it?
No.
The art style's a bit. I don't know how to take it.
Depends on, man. Is it going to look a lot cleaner and smoother? Because, like I said, Demon Slayer looked so clean and smooth. That's what stood out massively straight away.
It's kind of, I don't know. It doesn't feel like Dragon Ball anymore. It feels like something else.
They've taken it slow away by changing its original style.
A little bit. I might get used to it. I mean, Berserk did that, and it, in my opinion, it just ruined it. Berserk, like the first season was like drawn, and then season 2 and onwards was CGI, and it was just.
It's expensive though, man. It's hand drawn. It takes time as well.
It just destroyed it for me. But sorry, like I completely took away like the anime you've been watching. Dragon Ball, and I like went on a rant.
We're having a casual chat. It's fine.
Yeah, it's casual. There's no structure, right? No, other than that, I just went through Attack on Titan again. I've got through season 2 because I wanted to watch the full thing from scratch. I don't think Lewis has watched it yet.
Nah.
Oh yeah,
you need to get on that. It's
Attack
absolutely.
on Titan.
It's one of the best.
Is epic. Attack on Titan is like, it's a unique one because it's a bit like Death Note, because you know with anime you got most anime, especially shonen, you've got the action, you've got the seriousness, and you've got darkness, but then you've got that little bit of comedy. There's none of that in Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is like hardcore.
It's brutal.
It's like
dark.
It's pretty depressing.
Yeah.
When you think about it, you're watching it, it's like it's depressing as shit.
But so crazy.
It's so well done, and like the twists and that are just
twists are,
so good.
That's kind of why I don't want to watch it though, because I don't know. As I'm getting older, as I'm getting more greys and more mature, I'm not as receptive to depressing shit anymore.
It's done well though.
Yeah, it does it well. It does it like, it's not one of those things where it's like you're watching it and you feel depressed after watching it. It's like the whole vibe is a depressing vibe, because like where it's set and how it's set it's like you're constantly on a fight for survival, but the way they do it just works. You just want to watch, you just want to see more and more and more.
It's not something that translates over to you. You don't get depressed for osmosis from watching it.
And I think the action in it overshadows like the whole depressive ambiance.
The ambiance, yeah. you might be like feeling it at that point, and then out of nowhere it goes into the action.
Yeah,
the Titans, it's so amazing.
It
pulls you straight out of it. You're like hyped up.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It is really good. It is one of the, like the top. Well, it's definitely one of the top trending anime at the moment, and there's no question why.
And you've got to avoid the spoilers, man. You got to avoid them, so you're gonna have to watch it sooner or later.
Yeah.
Have they not done like a final season part 3 now?
Yeah,
they're splitting it up out there, right?
It's starting to annoy me now. It's like just fucking end it already. I hate anime that does that. Like it's the same. Like I had that argument when I did that video on Bleach. They just need to end it. They just have to have a cut-off point. Same with Boruto, which is like the story now with Naruto's son.
It's still going.
It's still going. It should have never happened. It ruined Naruto.
As a character, or
as a character, it ruined Sasuke as a character. They've just nerfed them so much.
Oh really?
It's just so annoying. Like Sasuke's always out of chakra. Like he uses one of his like ocular powers, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out of chakra, I can't move," and it's like, "Fuck off."
Old man Sasuke.
It's ridiculous. It's like honestly, it's ridiculous.
Is Boruto more powerful than Naruto?
No, but that's why they've nerfed them, because they obviously they want it to be like that. Because Naruto and Sasuke by the end of Shippuden, they're like god level. They're stupidly overpowered, and that's why they should have just ended it there. They shouldn't have done like a follow up just to like rinse my mind. It's just there's different powers now. There's not just jutsus in Boruto. There's it's called karma, which is like this new thing that's around. And the story does carry on from Shippuden, from the end of Shippuden, like a few years later, but it's just not the same.
It's not like 20 years later, like 15 years later.
No, it's about 10. Boruto's about
How old's
10 by the time.
He's only 10.
He's older now, but he'll be about maybe 12 now. But yeah, he's only about 10.
Why do animes always use such young characters?
Do you know you've seen a glimpse of like Sasuke's brother?
Yeah.
He's only like 14. Yeah.
His older brother?
Yeah. He's only about 14.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
But when you see him then, he's only about 14. By the time
Shippuden, though, man.
Oh no,
I thought Naruto was like 16 in Shippuden.
Naruto?
When Shippuden starts, he's not like 16.
No, I think he's about 14.
Oh, I think he might be.
He's about 14. They just look really old. all the
Why do they
characters.
make them so young? It just makes it so unbelievable.
Yeah.
More
It's just-
unbelievable.
It's just a norm in anime. Every protagonist seems to be young.
Yeah.
Every single one I've watched, they're never old at all.
Well,
Never.
how old's Goku at the start of Z? He's only about 20. At the most.
I mean, he starts in Dragon Ball, what, 6? Something is super young in that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they do the characters really. Which is like, when you think of it logically, and like, let's say Goku against General Tao, it's like 40-year-old dude just beating up a kid mercilessly.
Well, Gohan's about 5 in the first episode.
Well, that's another thing, yeah.
Z.
Teen Gohan isn't actually a teen. He's like 11, 12 in the Cell Saga.
Yeah.
I thought he was like 16. Well, no, maybe not 16. He's about 16 in the Boo Saga, I think.
No, he's in high school, isn't he? So it'd be
Yeah,
16 to 18.
16 there. But yeah, the Teen Gohan, he's buff as hell. He's only like 12.
Just Saiyan, remember? He's a shredded Saiyan.
He's only like 12. But yeah. What were we talking about? I forgot about like...
Just Dragon Ball.
What were we talking about like with the...
We went from Dragon Ball to
we
Attack on Titan
I know, yeah.
and stuff. And then, yeah, the only anime I've watched is, again, another one I think Lewis still hasn't watched, which is Afro Samurai.
No, but I do want to see it.
I've only watched a couple of episodes when I was a kid, of when it was like on TV.
You're in luck.
I've not watched
There's only
the whole
5
thing.
episodes.
Is there?
Yeah, there's only 5. There's 5 episodes, and there's a movie Resurrection, which I still haven't watched.
Is it finished though?
Yeah.
The anime's finished.
Yeah, as far as I know.
All right,
It's,
I like that.
it's the 5 episodes, which is kind of bad because the way I watched it twice over in the past few weeks because I just love it that much. But it's short but sweet. But it felt like they could have easily extended this to 20 episodes because like each episode is on arc, like going to the past and then explaining who this character is, etc. Like Kumo. But they could have easily dragged that out and you would have cared about the characters more.
Do you think it's rushed then?
Not, I think it's a case of because it's high. It's got Samuel L. Jackson, you know, who's voicing both Afro Samurai and his like alter ego, imaginary friend, which is a Ninja,
Right.
which is a brilliant contrast, by the way. You know, because Afro's super quiet, he's all contained, doesn't say much, while Ninja's proper Samuel L. Jackson, like crazy out there. You know, all the cuss words, a lot. It's absolutely amazing, brilliant. You know, they're both smoking blunts constantly. It's got the is it RZA? You know, the Wu-Tang Clan guy. Super famous, one of those rappers. Or the Reza, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but either way, he's a popular figure in the hip hop scene. He does all the music for it, which works brilliantly because it's set in like a futuristic feudal Japan. The entire premise of it is there's the number one. There's the 2 headbands primarily, the number 1 and the number 2. The number 1, whoever holds that, is supposed to be the god of the world, that will rule the world.
Right.
And it essentially starts with Afro's father having the number 1 band. It gets taken away from him, and then Afro's entire journey is going back to get, because he has the number 2 band at that point of his father, to get number 1 back and get vengeance.
So it's got like clans and stuff as well.
Nah, not really. There's the Empty 7, which are kind of protecting the number 1 at that point near the end of it, but it just basically goes straight through. Like I said, it's no messing around, no talking, no nothing, straight in their reaction. Tries to build a bit of the characters as it can do with the short time it's got, and then it's straight into it. But again, it seems like it was more budget constraint. All these big actors. Ron Perlman's in it. He does Justice, which is the antagonist.
Really gory as well, isn't it?
Oh, it's gory. It's got one of the most brutal openings to an anime I've ever seen in my life.
What are your stands on the gore? Do you prefer the gore? Because I know like My Hero Academia doesn't have that much gore. It's got like a bit of blood every now and then.
It's got to be done tastefully in the right sense.
I agree.
There's nothing like major.
But in this, it's done. Even though it's extreme at times, it's done to perfection. It's what you'd expect.
Like, have you guys seen Parasite?
No.
I'd recommend Parasite as well. It's a really good anime. It's basically about this like alien race that comes over to Earth and they like try and take over the world, but they're parasites, so they need a host. So they host on people, and then they're like people like change and stuff. It's really good. I don't want to spoil a lot. It's only about like 25 episodes, but that's got a lot of gore in it, and that's done properly because it's a realistic thing, which is like aliens coming over and they feed on humans. So you've got the whole. Like the gore in that is pretty realistic.
It's what you'd expect.
I'm not a big fan of gore, I'd say, probably. I don't mind it, but I think it can take away from... Again, what Steve said, it has to be tasteful. Like, sometimes it can be done to like project the severity of what's going on. But if it's on all the time, you just become desensitized from it, and it's kind of like... It's how I feel anyway.
I know it's not an anime, but it's along the same vibe. Invincible's got a lot of gore.
Yeah, but Invincible though, again, I feel like that's done quite well. That's excessive, but again, that's done to show like how deadly some heroes are, or whatever you want to call them. Some of it can be. I think a lot of that's done. Some of it's just excessive violence, but some of it's done to like bring in messages to stuff. And I think it's pretty good.
Is it a similar way to how The Boys does it then, where it's just over the top violence to say this is what these superheroes would do in real life, essentially?
It is a bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not as there's not as many evil. There's not as many. There's still heroes in it. They're not like The Boys where the heroes are all kind of like, oh well, actually we're all kind of
Self-absorbed
capitalist heroes.
Yeah.
Whereas it's more like there's heroes, there's anti-heroes, and there's villains, but it's all pretty grim. Like some of it's pretty gory.
Yeah, it is. I've not actually watched it, but with all the clips I've watched,
Afro
I think I've
does
seen
handle
it.
it well, though. Afro does handle it well, and it's a lot of the shots are iconic, just in how it does it. It's the old style of animation as well, which works so well. You know, like I think it's like 12 FPS hard to tell. I'm just looking at it, but it feels like that. And because it's set in the feudal Japan, it's a samurai. You get a lot of shots with the moon in the background constantly at night, and the blood and the contrast between it, and it just goes like slow motion and freezes with all the sound effects. Once you watch it, you'll know what I mean. It is super gory. It works. And like, not like say Blood of Zeus, the old back in the shit in the face. That was super gory, but that was just worthless. It just didn't fit.
Yeah.
It didn't have the effects, but in Afro you feel it.
Speaking of Western animes, I did quite a while ago, but I did finish Castlevania season 4, so I watched all 4 seasons of Castlevania, and that is a great anime. After now watching more actual anime, it doesn't feel like an anime at all. Kind of like feels like Blue Zeus. Now I've watched a couple, I can kind of tell Blue Zeus was terrible, even more so. It feels kind of more like an American TV show, cartoonized. That's kind of how it feels. That's gory. Obviously, it's about vampires and demons around Dracula and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's done quite well. That is a really good anime. Well, really good show.
I still need to watch.
It's worth watching. It's not too long. Season 1's 4 episodes. Season 2's 8. And I think season 3 and 4 are 10 to 12. And it's just it's a good story, good characters.
Well, since you've watched more of these Western animes, what would you actually say really separates them all now? You know, between like say cartoon, anime, and then westernized animation, because they've all like got their own niche, right, and how they progress.
I think Eastern anime spends a lot more time focusing on supporting characters. So whereas like Western, what I've watched, and Western TV, Western films, you have your protagonist, you maybe have 1 or 2 supporting and a villain, and then you only know about their backstories. The other characters are just there, and if you want to know about them, you've got to go on the internet and read about them. Because like I love lore. Most of us do love reading about characters and stuff. But like if you watch like Avengers and stuff, you don't know what any of the other characters are doing. Any of the side characters, if they haven't had their own film, you don't know anything about them. Whereas like Eastern stuff, like My Hero, Naruto's the same. Like you get like Naruto in the filler episodes is a good example. Like he goes out and does missions arcs, but with different ninjas on different other people in the academy, and then so they all get more time to develop as characters. And My Hero's the same. Like there's episodes where some of the characters might get 2 or 3 full episodes, and it's on them, and you just understand and you care more for the characters because of that. And I think as well, Eastern, a lot of anime has the monologues, the internal monologue.
Yeah.
So you can think, you can hear what they're thinking rather than just looking at them and kind of trying to interpret what they're thinking. So rather than looking at Captain America and his stern face staring at Thanos, then you think, oh well, he might be afraid, he might be not. Like if you think to like Deku or Goku or Naruto, they're staring at their villain, they're like, I have to do this now because of this.
Yeah.
And I need for people to save, things to protect. And Western media, their characters are thinking that, but hearing them say it internally,
you don't hear that, do you? They always say
yeah.
it. That's it. They say it, or they just try and express it. That's a really good point. You never hear those internal monologues ever.
And I think it makes you just develop such a stronger relationship with that character, because you can understand what they're going through and why they're going through it and why they want to do what they want to do. And they're always doing the right thing as well. So it's like, I just think it makes it so much better.
I think the main thing that separates Western anime to anime is like Japanese anime, they always pull out their special move before they do the special move.
That is true.
All the time. Sometimes it gets a bit annoying. Like, cause you don't have to say it like just like My Hero Academia does it well because he says it. He does different ones, although it's like pretty much like the same punch. he says it like with different US capital, not US capitals, US locations.
Cities. Oh yeah.
Whilst Bleach, for example, it's Getsuga Tensho, and it takes so long to wind up, or like the Kamehameha.
Kamehameha.
I
That's
think,
iconic, the Kamehameha.
but I think
That
it's.
never gets old.
Kamehameha, that's it.
I think the warp Kamehameha is well underrated. It should be used more. Where the warped, where he teleports.
Is that an instant transmission Kamehameha?
Yeah, the one where he uses on Cell.
Yeah,
That should be
my
used.
favourite one.
That should be used so much more often than what it does. Like it's. Why have they not used it more? Like,
if you've ever played a Dragon Ball Z game, you know that Kamehameha most times is going to miss.
Yeah,
the enemy
it does,
goes,
yeah.
Oh,
All
I got
the
a giant
time.
blast. I'll just step to the side.
Yeah.
Now you've got no key. I'm gonna get you.
All the
Whereas
time.
if it's like right behind, you're like, well,
Yeah.
I'm point blank in Kamehameha you. You are totally screwed here, pal.
And how badass is it as well?
It is bad.
It's just
When
like
I used to
out
play
of nowhere.
Region Blast 2 was my favorite Dragon Ball Z game ever. And I used to just play as base level Goku because you had Solar Flare, which was just OP. You'd be like,
Yeah.
Solar Flare, and the enemy just wouldn't be able to move. They just instant transmission, Kamehameha them in the back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do this on repeat, and I'm gonna win every battle.
Now, if you're playing as Frieza in Xenoverse, you use his Death Ball.
Death Ball.
That was OP.
Was it?
Yeah, Death Ball is
Yeah.
pretty OP, to be fair.
Yeah,
That's what I did with my
Destructo
character.
Disc.
That's surprisingly weak. The Destructo
Destructo
Disc. And it's been nerfed as well.
What,
Like,
in
this-
Xenoverse?
In
Like
just
the anime.
just in the anime as well.
I was going to say it's quite powerful in Xenoverse too. From what I remember.
Who uses it? Is it just Krillin and Frieza?
Krillin,
Frieza has her own
Frieza.
version, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think.
Krillin underleveled. How dare they? Never would have saw that coming. He's just there to be killed.
He's
I've
not,
watched
he's,
Dragon
not,
Ball,
he's not
actually.
actually died since Namek. Oh no, he died. Boo killed. Boo killed everyone though, so it
Boo
doesn't.
killed everyone.
Yeah, it doesn't really count. He basically just wipes out the Earth. But yeah, I don't think he dies. After Frieza.
I probably got sick of it. Like, do you know when they kept killing Kenny in South Park?
I know, yeah.
Stop doing this. The same with Krillin. They're the same board meeting.
They need to kill Yamcha more times though.
Yeah, well. We can kill him.
There's a reason they made a dead Yamcha Funko.
Dead Yamcha's
Damn.
like is the best Yamcha. I'm
He
not
is.
a big fan.
He's the strongest Yamcha.
I'm not a big fan of Yamcha. Yamcha's like really strong in Fighters. Dragon Ball
Is he?
Fighters, yeah. He's like a lot of people use them when, like, obviously now with like all the DLC characters, I don't think he's used as often. But when the game first came out, he was OP as hell.
Oh damn.
Yeah, he was. Like everyone was using him. I've not actually watched that much anime, to be fair. I've been on like a clip vibe from YouTube, where like something like a clip from YouTube from an anime I've watched like pops up, and it kind of like lures me in. Then I get lost into that like loop of just clips of like, you may be interested in this. I was like, oh, I am interested in this, so I click on
7 hours later.
it. Yeah, and then so on and so on. The only anime I've really been watching is Cowboy Bebop.
All right.
It's okay.
You're gonna watch the live action?
I
How many
don't.
TV series, live action TV series about it?
I think it's just a movie.
Is it a movie?
I think so.
I think it's
There's,
a movie. It's on Netflix, right?
there's an anime movie as well. I don't know. I think maybe I went into the anime with like too much high expectations. Everybody puts it in such high regard.
I mean, it's held up there on a pedestal, right? Every
Is
time
it
I hear
about
someone talk
space?
about it.
Yes, it's like a bounty hunter in space. It's like in the future.
Like Mandalorian, but not Star Wars.
I don't know. I've never watched Mandalorian. But
Oh,
probably. I've not watched any Star Wars.
You know, it's a TV series. They made a TV series.
Is it? I thought it was,
2021, yeah, 10 episodes.
it was a movie. I'm a bit weird with anime live action. Have you seen Death Note live action?
Pious,
It's
horrendous.
Absolutely disgusting.
I mean, I love Dragon Ball Evolution, so
Oh my god. Do you
I
really?
rewatched that. No, I rewatched
I was gonna
it.
say, fucking
I've
hell.
rewatched it since the last episode of the podcast, and it is absolutely god awful.
Isn't it?
It is terrible.
They just butcher all. They just make it too American. Nothing against Americans, but they just make it too high school American era. And
Yeah.
like Dragon Ball is not high school American era. Goku never went to high school. Goku doesn't know what high school is. He got fucking homeschooled by his grandpa, which he eventually then kills.
There's a weird thing when you're making these films because they're kind of like, well, do we appeal to the fans or do we bring in new people? And if we're going to bring in new people, how do we do it? Do we just make it a rom-com fighter? Great
Damn it,
idea.
there's a reason why it was so successful in the first place. You change that formula, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Don't Americanize it.
Like the main character in Death Note. Jesus Christ, chest do my head. Done that like 4 times today. I need to like lock it in. The main character in Death Note is called Light Yagami, which, you know, Japanese name makes sense. They call the dude in the film Light Turner.
Light Turner.
Light, yeah. His first name's Light, but they call him Light Turner. Why? Why do? I know it's set in America and that, but just put a Japanese dude in America if they want to do that. Like Light Yagami.
It's such a bad name as well to choose.
Just keep it. And they changed this whole character. Like, Light is a manipulative character. Like, he makes people do things for him. And that's like everyone. He gets to a point where he's just like sadistic. He's just like a narcissist. And in the live action, it's like the other way around. Like, this girl he meets, she kind of makes him do things, and it's just not the character at all. They just changed his whole character, and it's a mess. Emma enjoyed it, which I was really gutted. But then again, she
Really
never,
good film.
She never watched the anime. So like, I've been trying to get her to watch the anime, but she's just, oh, I don't like anime.
You can't blame her. She doesn't have the point of reference.
Yeah, but it's just not a good film in general either. The only good thing about it is Willem Dafoe, because he's Ryuk.
Oh,
he's the death
now,
god.
Now I'm
I'm gonna watch
interested
it now.
Yeah.
Now I want to watch it.
Ryuk is good because it's Willem Dafoe. He does play the character really well. But take that away, and it's just garbage. Yeah, it's just. I know they've got like a live action of Bleach. I've not watched that. That's set in Japan. That's made in Japan, so it may be okay. They've got a live action of Attack on Titan as well.
I've seen some little clips of that. That is so brutal.
They've got a live action of Parasite. They've got a live action of a few of them, but I'm just nervous when it comes to live action. I think
the biggest one is Ghost in the Shell, right? With
Ghost in the Shell.
I've not watched the live action one yet.
I haven't either. I've not even watched the anime one.
Neither.
I've not even watched the anime film. It's just, I don't know. They just change too much. I think you're very limited when you get to, like, from the anime, like, especially if you're going to base a film or a series off an anime, you're so limited in what you can do. The CGI is never going to look as good as what it is going to in the anime. That's the first thing. So the visuals are never going to be on par with the anime. So that's already something that you're going to lag behind, regardless. And then they just change things. Like, they either change like the characters, like their personalities, or they change like a bit of the story here and there. Yes, I know it's maybe they don't want to like repeat the same thing, but if it's a popular thing, why?
If it ain't fixed, you don't change it, do you? That's what I'm saying. If it ain't broken, don't. It's like video game movies as well. They always change them. Like all the Resident Evil films, bringing in Alice, this new character, that's changing the entire theme. The Doom, I mean, I love the movie. It's a cheesy classic, but it's a terrible movie. It's
horrible.
Yeah,
Resident Evil 1 and 2, to be fair, is good. But then after that, it's just too much. It's just too much. It's that habit that they just don't know when to end it. They outstay their welcome. And a lot of anime do it as well, where
that is
like
true.
Attack on Titan is starting to do it now, and it starts to really annoy me. Like, just fucking end the anime. Just end it.
It's hard, man. It's hard for them to do it.
I know it is, but you have to have an ending. You have to.
You do. Like Breaking Bad's the best example. That ended as it should. The season 5, right, perfectly, and that's why the story's so consistent. You look at some like Supernatural, supposed to win 5 seasons, went 15 seasons. There was some good times in there, but that extra 10 years, it wasn't worth it in the long run.
It just goes down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just outstays its welcome. Eventually, you're going to run out of ideas. And the thing is, if you have that perfect ending, and then you go over that perfect ending with something else, you're not going to get that perfect ending again. You're going to have to like think of something else.
Tried it with Dexter recently. Again, they skipped past it. They extended it to get thinking maybe we need more views. We're getting loads of money with this. Let's keep it going. Go past the perfect ending, which was all planned, and then they ruined it with an ending. Brought it back, and they ruined it again.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, have you watched the new season, Dexter? I know it's not on the podcast, but I want to ask you. So I love Dexter. It's the reason why my dog is called Dexter. Season 8 was god awful.
Oh yeah.
Haven't watched the new one yet. Is it? Well, where does it stand? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it?
It's got some good points in it. It's extremely slow for one, and then right near the end, it picks up like the last few episodes where you think.
How many episodes?
Right, I think there's 8 or 9.
Right.
It's short. It really picks up at the end, and you're like, oh wow, this is getting really good now. This is getting like classic Dexter, and then it just ends really stupidly. Yeah, again, I think it's a case of I spoke to a few people about it. Was that they've paced it wrong? They should have done this way differently, and there's a few stupid decisions from the characters near the end which don't make sense at all for the characters, and it just felt like they blew the load right at the end. Like rather than just pacing it, just went from 0 to 100, and it didn't make sense. And it's like everyone's sat there again going, "This shit again." They've done it yet again. You had a chance to bring it back, finish it properly, and they've ruined it.
If we remember, that was one of the main issues in Blood of Zeus. It was so slow paced, and then out of nowhere, just like all the budget came in.
Shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense. It's nonsensical. You got to do it properly, not all, man.
Yeah, it was a terrible TV show. The first season of Dexter was the best, but that's purely because it was actually based off the book. After the first season, it just went all over the place. It was still, I enjoyed it, but
The Trinity season was really good. That was really
season 5 was pretty good. But I think I watched it back 2 years ago, and I was like, this writing's not very good. Like the first time I thought, oh yeah, if you go in and you like kind of try to understand what's going on, like really you can be, oh, this is so good, but you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to explain it more.
I don't know if you ever read about the original ending. I was supposed to do it, but that seemed to be perfect.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, you need to search it up. It's basically just like everyone finds out who he is at that point. All his friends at Miami Metro, and they all start hunting him down across the state. And he's supposed to I believe he's supposed to die, get killed by him. That was the original ending.
No way.
And it would, if you read into it properly in the full script, it's like, oh, this would have been perfect.
That would have been a perfect ending. The fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
Well,
It doesn't matter. Like you're killing bad guys, but you're just as bad as they are.
well,
You're still killing. What about when you run out of bad guys? Then what? And you still
just a
got
hardcore version
and
of Batman, man.
and you still got that bloodlust.
But also, the thing is, though, it's kind of in the end they kind of imply that he overcomes it.
Bollocks.
And
He doesn't.
Never.
Yeah, well, he does it in season 8. They try and imply it, and then also, it's really cringy because it's really cringe actually because kind of like he's like 38 by season 8, and it's like his whole life he's been wanting to kill people. Then by the end he's like, oh, I'm in love now. I never needed to kill people. I just need to find love.
He could never feel emotions. That was the entire point. He kept
it's like-
saying like he could never feel emotions like that.
Power of love prevails. Apparently.
It's like the power of friendship in anime.
Power of-
That's one thing in anime that does annoy me. Like the power of friendship overcoming everything. Like it annoys
That's what
me.
makes you-
It annoys me a little bit.
That's what makes Yu-Gi-Oh so good though.
Yeah, but
It's like, I need a neat draws card, I need to believe in the heart of the cards. Thankfully
It's-
I have my friends by my side and I know I can do it. Now let's pull this random card out. Oh, yes, it's a winning card. 8th time in a row. It's like,
there's actually a lot of things that are overused in anime. I think the power of friendship is one for a start. The whole Goku Vegeta scenario is a bit overused.
it's told
Like-
so many times.
I can't get into Kachan. You saying that before, like you're starting to like warm up a bit to him. I just can't. He's got. I've said it before. Vegeta has a reason to be angry. Sasuke has a reason to be angry. Kachan has no reason to be angry. He's just He's just a bully. Like there's no reason behind all his anger. Like he's pretty wealthy from what I remember. You don't really see much of his family, but he's pretty.
Well, why do
it's-
people... He is agree, he's a bully. Why do people bully? It's because they're just incredibly insecure about themselves, and I think that's what Kachan is. He feels on some level that everyone else is better than him, and that's why he's got to try so hard to be the best. And then he does kind of like, there's moments when it's like he's mean to people, but he trusts them and he expects them to do things. And a lot of the other characters kind of like try and protect each other, whereas he's like, no, we're gonna do this and you're gonna do this and he won't say it, but he's like, because I know you can do it, so go and do it. Don't ask us questions, just do it because you can. He could never be a hero, and there's no way, like, he wouldn't have lasted as long as he did in real life, because it's like, you're an absolute basket case, bro. You need therapy. When you get your therapy, you can become a hero, but until you get your therapy, there's no way we're letting you in this school.
Yeah, he's a bit over the top.
Yeah.
He's a bit over the top. Before we get into like the little topic not really a topic. Well, it is a topic. It's from one of the patrons. Let me also take this time to thank every single one of my patrons and channel members. You guys are absolutely awesome, and I love your faces. I just want to mention that we will be getting different guests. There are already a few guests lined up. It's just getting times together and available for everybody to be able to come on. If you guys know of anyone, because I know the anime community is pretty, it's very extreme. There's not that many, and then the ones that are anime YouTubers or talking about anime, they're massive. They're got millions of subscribers.
Yo.
So they're way out of my range. So if you guys want to be a guest, hit me a DM. We may be able to get you on, just for different topics and a bit of variety.
And quick interjection, there is actually a reason why we could have spoke about Dexter there, is that there is actually an animated series for it.
Is it?
Yeah, you can watch it online. It's the early cuts. It's his earliest kills. So it's like a little animated comic.
Is that what you
seen it, actually?
Is that what you were checking?
Yeah, that's what I was checking. I remembered it, so I checked it up, and yeah, there is this online.
Now, he was tweeting so bored in this podcast.
I know. I thought you just
browsing the hub.
The shit out of
I was gonna edit out this little clip of just that Ben Affleck meme.
He's sighing.
Yeah. No, not that one. The one where Henry Cavill is talking, and then he's just on the side, just like that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then it grays out slowly with the "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Yes, that's good.
I was gonna do that. Well, I might still do it now.
Still do it.
I might still do it.
Still do it.
I can't believe you're drinking a Monster, Steve. It's 9 p.m. and you're drinking a can of Monster.
It's all right.
Dude's
That's the second can. I've had that one before.
It'll be hitting the gym at about 4 a.m.
More like 11.
11.
Well, like I say, I'm part time right now, my brother. So yeah, rock and roll.
Announcement as well. Steve's coming to see me next week.
Yeah.
Oh no, not is it next week? It's
23rd, right?
23rd. Yeah, next week.
Times.
Next week.
I just minimized you all by accident. 23rd, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be good times. Good times.
Just need to work out a time to arrive.
Just whenever, dude.
Well, I don't want to get there 6 in the banging on the door.
What, 6?
Waking up you and then we're yeah, I'm here.
6 a.m. I'll probably be up by then.
Just be the gym in Manchester.
I'm up at 6 every day.
Yeah, I'd take him to the gym, but I don't want to mentally scar him.
We'll go to the gym, Steve.
Yeah, that's a vlog.
You two go to the gym. I'll record it.
Commentate.
In the corner, like a little perv.
Yeah, you just stand there commentating while filming it.
And now, be the Master Roshi.
I could be, yeah. The reverse Master Roshi.
Getting Steve shots with his deadlifts.
Yeah.
Zooming in.
Yeah, but from the bottom up, get some proper porn shots.
And then,
from the bottom up.
Then After Effects in the nosebleed.
Just
the right time, perfection.
That'll be good. The topic we have is from Volaster. Thank you, Volaster, for your topic.
Legend.
And it's basically what are our stands on piracy in the anime industry. I know you guys. I just got food delivered to me.
You're living the best life, you.
Feels good.
He's waiting on hand and foot.
Do you want to say hello?
Look at this.
Wow, it's got a burger.
Do you want to say hello like people see you?
No, babe, I'm in.
Okay.
Nightmare.
She's in her pajamas.
I'm in my pajamas right now. So, but I'm not. I could be. I'm not wearing a shirt, actually. It's just like a top.
I like the fake Big Mac of fake chicken nuggets. It's like
living your best life.
You guys don't mind me eating whilst we.
Oh, if I just turn and someone just give me some. Oh.
No, you need to platinum Devil May Cry 5 for that to happen.
That's how you get the special.
I waited an hour before it came out.
You did well.
I think I did well. There's also speaking of, there's a Devil May Cry anime that I weren't aware.
Yeah.
I need to watch it.
It's not out yet. Is it out?
Yeah, it's out. It's it's canon as well. So it's between the third game is the prequel to the whole thing. So it's between. No, it's before Devil May Cry 3. It's the story of Virgil and Dante to how they got this little rivalry they've got.
Oh, the one that came out in 2007.
Yeah.
Netflix are making a new one, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, they are.
It's exciting times. Exciting times. Anyway,
that's a little project for us. I may watch that Devil May Cry anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's due. It's according in this post in November of 2021. It's due to be released in early 2022.
We're a bit past early, aren't we?
We're kind of past that.
Oh, plenty of time to watch the old one then.
We're mid 2022 now.
Well, it's starting production now in 2022, so.
Oh right.
2023 probably.
Yeah, most likely. But anyway, the topic. What are our views on like piracy in the anime industry? Because I know both of you guys have a subscription for anime services, whilst I don't. I am the Luffy in this little trilogy.
Pirate.
Yeah. Luffy was like a One Piece reference.
Oh.
You didn't get it, did you?
Nah. I haven't got time to watch 1,200 episodes of One Piece.
Hey, like people have been like saying, why don't you watch One Piece? And it's like it's too much of an investment at this point. And it's still not finished. Like if
going forever.
If it had finished, then I'd be like, all right, maybe I'll pace myself and watch like, you know, about 10 episodes a week or something, but it's still going. It's just too much.
If you watch
People will watch it when someone edits it, like that guy, you know, from Naruto. Someone will watch it then when it's been filtered down to maybe 200 episodes of pure content.
But still, like, even if it's like 50% fillers, like Bleach and Naruto is, that's still like 500 episodes.
Yeah.
That's like a whole anime with fillers included.
You can edit that down. Who needs context?
It's a lot of episodes
between scenes and fights.
Just watch like a 9-hour synopsis on on YouTube. Someone's probably made a 30-hour breakdown of the whole thing.
Yeah, probably.
Well, you could probably make like a 10 or 15-minute synopsis for Dragon Ball.
Probably.
So you could easily do like a 5-hour, I imagine, One Piece all the way through, or Bleach.
Well, a lot of Dragon Ball is waiting around anyway.
Yeah.
Charging.
Yeah.
Repairing.
Yeah.
Being shocked in
Eating.
Yeah.
Staring at mags, in Rosh's case.
I'll let you guys take it away anyway. What are your stands on like the piracy situation?
Nah, I don't think I'm not for piracy. Most of the time, I would say there is exceptions, but I would say if it's available, like I play, like I've just left Funimation because Crunchyroll, which is owned by PlayStation, have just like absorbed Funimation. Funimation had a lot of stuff on, and for like £4, £5 a month, I think, you know, it's not. You should pay that. It's not a lot of money at all. It's pennies.
Yeah.
Funimation is the worst streaming app I've ever used, I have to say.
Yeah,
it is absolutely god awful. Honestly, it was a joke how bad it was. It's like they just hadn't updated it. Like you couldn't rewatch episodes. So if you want to rewatch an episode,
really?
you had to manually scroll it back to the start, and then it wouldn't work. It would just shoot you back to the front, time and time again.
Yeah, you've got to mess around. Click on the show at the top really to go back to the main page, and click on the episode you want. And then sometimes it didn't work half the time.
Yeah, it worked better on a browser. It felt like the app was just a browser because it didn't work. It didn't as well. But not only does it work terribly, the actual app didn't work on the Xbox or PlayStation. It's hit and miss. Like my brother is watching My Hero and he likes it a lot as well. And he had to basically there was a month where it didn't work on his Xbox. Deleted it, reinstalled it. It just would not work. So he couldn't watch it. And like he was using my Funimation, but if I was watching it and I was paying for a service, I'll be annoyed. And I've actually complained. I've had Funimation for 12 months. I've complained twice to the company about it because it's not working. You're paying for a service which you're not getting. And I had like times where it wasn't working for weeks, and you're paying, and that's when you're like, you know what? Why should I be paying for it? I could watch it for free.
Yeah.
But Crunchyroll's a lot better, and the only time I think you should pirate it is if you can't watch it in your country. So for example, I went to Turkey in like last month, and you couldn't view Funimation in Turkey. It wouldn't let you do it because it didn't have licenses. And then the anime on Netflix did, like for example, My Hero season 1 and the films were on Netflix at the time. Only the Japanese sub was on season 1 was on the Turkish Netflix. Right. So I think if you can't access it through streaming, then you if you want to watch it, you got to watch it. Like I can't find anywhere to watch One Punch Man season 2 dubbed. So where does that leave me? Do I never watch it, or do I just say, okay, I'm gonna watch it illegally because it's the only thing when you can watch it? Same with Dragon Ball Z. You can't watch Dragon Ball Z legally in this country, can you?
No, you can't at all. See, that's where I've got no problem pirating anything as long as because in my idea it's a victimless crime in a sense. Because if you were never going to buy the product to begin with, then if you pirate it, no one's losing out from that argument. If you could afford it and you have literally just done it for the sake of not buying it, and you are stealing the property. But if a lot of teenagers will download stuff and pirate stuff and they can't afford it to begin with, they would never have bought that. So that's victimless in my opinion. But with anime, like you said, Funimation, Dragon Ball is on there, but it's on the US version of it. So for me to watch it through my sub, I had to pay for Funimation and then use my VPN on my phone to appear from America, and then I'd get all the American licenses through the app because it can't detect the VPN, whatever, it can't tell I'm doing the location thing. And then I can watch Dragon Ball, but technically that's illegal. I am surpassing licensing laws, and that's technically piracy. But that's the only way for me to stream Dragon Ball. And I've got, as far as I'm concerned, I've got the DVDs the box sets of Dragon Ball in storage somewhere. But digging them out and using them is just not. It's just not practical, right?
Yeah.
You want to watch it on your phone or on your TV.
If the FBI are watching, by the way, I have nothing to do with what Steve's doing.
It's like anything, right? I've got Blu-rays like and stuff in storage or DVDs of films, and it's like almost like Linus from Linus Tech Tips says, like if he's bought them before and he owns them, he's got no problem downloading a Blu-ray copy of a film, because why should he not be able to do it? He's paid for this already. He owns it, so therefore why cannot he download a copy of it to watch how he wants to watch it? So if it's on his mobile, his computer, his TV, because he already owns the license to the media. Capitalism,
there's your answer. People want to keep making money from you.
Exactly.
Because really, they say like you buy, because you're not buying a license to use it, are you?
Yeah.
You're buying like with video games and stuff, especially like digital. For those who don't know, you don't buy a copy of the game. You buy the right to like borrow the license to play it. Like I couldn't buy a game digitally and I couldn't play it in a business premises, because I haven't got a license to share it. It's not my property. I'm like paying to borrow it.
And they, at any point, they've got the right, if you read the fine print, to revoke access for any reason for that.
That's the loophole that. Well, it's not a loophole. It's a loophole on their side.
That's why I buy physically.
That's same.
And
That's why I buy
even then,
well.
that's a problem. Physicals, like it works, and it's usually cheaper. But these days, games go gold, and then they get months of work and patches before it gets released. So you're not playing the same game someone who is day one, and it can be a completely different game entirely.
Imagine playing Cyberpunk
the patches
without any patches on day one.
Exactly.
That's how it wouldn't even turn on.
Exactly.
I better run better.
Night and day difference. It's a different game.
I better
6 frames per second.
Yeah.
I played the upgraded version of that game, by the way, and it is still absolutely disgraceful.
It felt not bad for me, but I did encounter some glitches.
No, it's not the glitches.
Jackie walked through a locker straight away, just any shit flying everywhere.
You're just still driving through Night City and there's nobody in it. You're driving through a desert town. You're like, where's everybody? Nah.
The PS5 version, yeah?
Yeah. Well, no, it's Xbox Series X version.
Right.
But it's basically the same. And you're like, there's like 5 people on the streets. You're like, this is still not what was promised.
Yeah, shocking.
Side topics anyway. Joel, what's your stance?
Shocking. I can understand both sides, to be fair. I can understand. You're making me feel guilty now, and I probably will get a license now for Crunchyroll. I'm not one.
You can use mine.
Oh, now there's a hero. I already use like everything. Like Steve's like he's been giving me all his like all his accounts like for wrestling, Disney Plus, Crunchyroll. Now, man's a hero. Honestly, give this man a medal. Give this man a medal. No, I can understand both sides. I think, yeah. I mean, people who don't get the subscriptions or don't buy the subscriptions, I think it's hard to say. Like, what I know with like music and stuff, they get royalties. What do they get from the service? Like the people who create these animes, do they get a percentage of it, or is
they
it?
Get royalties.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's like Netflix pay. I only know this because they basically pay. I think they pay like $3 or $4 million a year to get the rights to Friends. So whoever owns Friends, the developer, the company that owns them, the actors, they all get royalties from that.
Right.
So you're supporting them in a way, but you are supporting them.
It's just not to the same degree as buying a Blu-ray or a DVD box set.
Yeah.
Because like on Spotify, the artist gets so little for what when you're streaming their songs, they get so little compared to buying a CD.
Yeah.
Just buy one piece of merch for your favorite band, and that outdoes any of their streaming by far.
Yeah, wow.
I think the same with anime and streaming.
That's why I bought My Hero comics and I bought the films. I'm thinking about buying season 1 to 3, but it's like £50. I was like, oh, but I might do it eventually.
I think usually with pirated things, you sacrifice the quality.
Not always.
To have it free. Not always, but most of the time.
If you're a connoisseur like me, 25 gigabyte Blu-ray download, there you go.
Well, if you download them, that's different. But I'm
talking about like streaming it rather than streaming it on a service you're paying for, like Netflix, for example, or Crunchyroll. You're streaming it on just a random website, which is what I usually do anyway. And you get all these ads and stuff.
Legally, it's the same thing, but I'd never do it through streaming like that. Because, like you said, you're sacrificing that quality. What's the point?
Well, I streamed the first 15 episodes of Naruto because I didn't want to sign to an anime thing when I had no idea if I was going to like it at all. And for me, to be fair, that is one of the main reasons why I don't do it. Is just purely because adverts, low quality. It's just it is a nightmare, and that that's probably that's what made me get Funimation. I was like, you know what, it's £5. I'm just gonna pay it 2-3 months, get Naruto done and end it. But obviously, I've kept watching it because of My Hero. But yeah, it is. It's not a straightforward question. I think your point there, Steve, on if someone was never gonna buy it because they could never afford it, then who's really losing? But it's the idea that if you promote it long term, then it does cost them money. So but then also if you pirated, some kids pirate Marvel's Avengers, why does it matter if Disney are losing 10,
Zilch.
20, 6 figures? It's nothing to them.
Yeah.
It's so like, does it matter? Does it even matter that you are supporting big global corporations anyway? Because ultimately, these big companies, I'm just pushing my agenda on you here. These big faceless companies, like, why does it matter how much money they make? Like, do you need to support? Because Shonen, for example, like, it's a mammoth of a company. Dragon Ball Z is worth $25 billion by itself. So it doesn't matter if you stream Dragon Ball Z illegally.
Yeah, I think with companies to the degree we're talking about here, like Crunchyroll and Shonen and stuff, it doesn't even make a dent. They're always gonna make money. They make money from YouTube. They make money from merchandise. They make money from streaming it on TV, especially in Japan. They make money from pretty much
Physical
anything.
Sales, digital sales.
The percentage they get on the games. Like Dragon Ball is rinse and repeat. But regardless of how many games they release, a lot of people always buy their games. Yeah. It's a loved franchise, and it's just a system that works. It's just everybody wants to transform and blow shit up.
Yeah, I do think though, if you love something, you should support it. Regardless of the size of the company. Like I went to go see Morbius over the weekend. Don't go say it's terrible. But like I support the MCU and.
Did you say don't go see it?
Don't go see it. It's abysmal. Well, it's the worst film I've ever seen, I would say. But I went to go see it with like the intention of supporting, but I shouldn't have done it. That's a terrible example. I'm going to change that to something.
Not
else.
even for $5.99.
No, because that's one of the points you were putting across. It's like, for example, when you go to the cinema and you're watching something you don't know, you're supporting it, but you don't know if you're going to enjoy it. You don't know if it's going to be worth the support. And the thing is, like, this is actually another topic that Volosted did post, and I was going to save it for another episode, but it does kind of intertwine with this one. A lot of the artists and illustrators on anime, they're overworked and underpaid. Yeah. And so is it really fair that you're paying all this money for Crunchyroll and stuff when they're not paying the right amount to the people who are actually creating these things?
That's a whole political, economical question, that though. Like, it's the same with the game industry and stuff. Like, you heard about people who at Naughty Dog who did Last of Us Part 2 didn't get their bonuses because of its negative reception and things like that, or they overpromised. And it's like that itself is a problem with corporations in a general.
Different kettle of fish. I mean, you're talking about like us depriving these corporations of money by pirating stuff, but they're depriving their own workers. Yeah, and they're the true people who are making it in the first place. So it's like they're being exploited, so we're just exploiting them. If you go that way,
well,
karma.
We are Robin Hood in this bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it is pretty crazy. Like, you see it on a lot of anime where one episode there's one art style, and then you watch a couple of episodes later and it's a different art style, and that's because that person that did the first art style can't keep up with the demand, so they need to get different artists to get involved.
Yeah.
It's not easy matching someone else's style.
Yeah. And it's
you see that all the time in comics. Like Super Spider-Man, Marvel comics, you see it all the time. You get like 30, 40 episodes, and then they change the writers, change the art direction, and there might be someone overseeing it, but it's changed, and it makes you wonder, is it because they're giving someone else a chance, or is it because someone's being fired, or just a big turnover because people can't keep up, and it isn't good.
It's almost like Doctor Who in a sense. Every time there's a new Doctor, there's new production staff, new cameras, everything changes, so you can distinctly tell which season's which just by looking at which era.
Thing is, with anime, it bounces back. You know what I mean?
You go back to the original.
Yeah, it'll bounce back between, like, let's say they hire like 3 different artists to do the episodes to keep up. Like you can tell by watching. Like Dragon Ball Super is the worst for it. There's so many art styles, and I think the art style for Super is very lazy. It's very basic. It's not like you you look at the definition from the Boo arc in Z, and everything is like drawn to perfection. You got like all the lighting, all the lines on the hair and everything. You go to Super and it's very basic, especially the first few episodes of Super. You look at the Tournament of Power and it does get a little bit better, and obviously Dragon Ball Broly, the movie, the art style on that is absolutely insane. Although some of it is, you can see like a little bit of like basic art style when there's like certain movements and stuff, but the fights, the main fight, the art style is just like absolutely incredible. But it just comes to shows like how overworked these people are.
Yeah, I can see a screenshot of an episode here that looks dreadful.
Isn't it? It's
yeah,
extremely basic. Extremely basic. Draw up to the camera.
That looks bad. It's like episode 25 apparently.
Yeah.
It is bad.
Yeah, the first few episodes of Super is a bit of an eyesore.
It's a shame because Dragon Ball Z is worth.
Especially,
Yeah,
look at that.
that looks abysmal.
In my opinion, that's worse than Z.
The
original fight between Goku and Frieza.
Oh my! I cannot get over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just bring it back a little bit to the whole support
That was
things.
even worse.
That is shocking.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking.
No, like that is bad. I mean, like I said, that's not as bad. It's still bad.
It's still pretty bad.
Oh my god.
And that was 2015 it came out, I think. 2014.
That's the worst. It looks like some type of fan art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is really bad.
There's no definition on his hair. Like, there's barely any lines to like separate the little bits on his hair. And
No
stuff.
strands, no reflections. Just
Yeah.
a basic shadow.
Yeah, it's grim.
Just think, Lewis, you've got this to come.
I know. I'm still looking forward to watching it. It's been such a long time. I'm gonna do Dragon Ball Z Kakarot first at some point.
Yeah.
But I think I might watch it sooner than you think because I do want to watch. I do want to watch after Demon Slayer. I think I'm going to watch One Punch Man season 1 and 2, and then after that Dragon Ball Super. I just want to say quickly, bring it back to the whole supporting things. That's why everything I'd mostly talked about bring back to gaming, but that's why I think it's really important to support like those AA, those indie studios, because a studio of 30 people might not make it as fast, but you know that because it's so small, they are more than likely being supported better. The employees are getting treated better than a big faceless corporation that just churns out stuff.
And there's usually more passion and heart that goes into it as well.
Yeah.
And that's why it's usually the best content out there, gaming wise, movie wise, anime, across the board.
Yeah. Before it, like what studio? I don't even know what studio Attack on Titan is, but I don't think it's a very well known one.
I'll check for it. I can't remember off the top of my head either.
Not too sure either.
And that was one that.
I know One Punch Man was quite a small studio, but they've had like different studios make different seasons, haven't they?
Yeah.
Season 2 is a different studio.
Season 3 will be a different studio again.
Are they doing a season 3?
Mhm.
Oh, I wasn't sure if
The
that's gonna do
manga's out now.
Apparently it's WIT Studio, WIT.
It is a rich studio.
WIT.
Oh,
WIT. I've never even heard of the studio, to be fair.
All right, but that's.
Despite watching it.
But again,
Shall we
that's-
talk about the animes we're most looking forward to?
let's.
Let's. Joel?
For me, it's I'm looking forward to seeing what Dragon Ball is going to do with this new movie. Although I mentioned the art style is a bit weird, it is a bit weird, but I think from what I see, they're going to put Gohan back on the main cast again, which is something I've been waiting for years now. I think they butchered Gohan very, very badly, and I think he needs a bit of a redemption. There's rumors that he's going to get a new form. He's probably not going to be nowhere near as powerful as like Goku and Vegeta, but at least he can be back into the main cast. He can, he can do some good rather than just be like a side character who is just a teacher somewhere. He's just irrelevant. Like Piccolo's more relevant than he is, and power level wise, he should be nowhere near Piccolo. He should be way above.
Am I right in saying that the movies are kind of not canon because they kind of are like the kind of like Dragon Ball Super just covers them properly?
Not really. Like the movies in Z, none of them are canon.
Yeah, I know
But
that.
but now they've changed it now. Every movie in Super is now canon. Like Broly, that's canon. This new one's going to be canon because
The God of Destruction ones. Because I've seen the first 2 Dragon Ball Super films.
So you've probably seen you've seen the first 2 Dragon Ball Super arcs. Then it just goes a bit. It extends it a bit more. Goes a bit more into detail with different things.
Does it reuse footage from the films?
No, but it's not footage from the films. It reuses like the same storyline. But it's just
That's what I'm saying. They just retell them. So they're canon. They're kind of shortened versions of the arcs.
I think what it was, because both the movies came out before Super came out.
Yeah.
I think what it was like the movies were kind of like a pilot. They were a bit on edge of like, shall we make a new Dragon Ball season? Shall we not? And I think they released the movies just to see what the crowd's reaction was. It was a good reaction, so they thought, right,
go for it.
We'll just go for it. I think that's what it is. It's not been confirmed or anything, but it just seems like that's the case. It's the first time they've done it. And then the other anime is Bleach. That's coming out. I'm looking forward to Bleach. I just want to see how it ends.
Fair enough.
I don't like how it ended the last time they did it. I think the ending should have been the one I mentioned on the video, which would have been the perfect ending for me. But they just decided to extend it more and it just ruined it for me. I'm hoping they end it properly this time. Although I've already heard from people that have read the manga that the ending is still pretty crap.
Oh, marvelous.
So I just want to see like the conclusion.
You've got to see it out at this point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
That's it. I think apart from that, I don't think there's anything I'm really looking forward to. There's quite a big list I've got of anime to watch, so I'm always adding new ones that I see the trailer. But the ones that stand out the most, the ones I'm most looking forward to, is definitely Dragon Ball and Bleach.
It's a minefield, right? There's so much anime out there. It's hard to know what to get invested into to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I'm looking forward to is the Attack on Titan ending. That's why I'm going through it again now, because I want to get through it all and see the conclusion to the story.
I'll be doing that soon, actually, starting it from first episode.
My guy, and Lewis needs to as well, because like I said, it's great. Trust in us. It is beautiful.
Trust in us.
We should do it. We should do it together.
Stream it.
Yeah. Since you've got the subscription.
Wow, yeah.
Just put it on the screen now.
Yeah.
I think it's on there because they've transferred most content. There's some Funimation like Afro Samurai. You cannot get that on Crunchyroll at the moment. It's still on Funimation only.
Oh, is it?
They've not migrated all the stuff yet.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
You'll have to log back into your Funimation to access that. But yeah,
Just make sure you watch the whole episode so you don't have to rewatch it.
It's only 5 episodes.
Yeah, that's.
I think it's on
That's
Netflix,
fine.
you know.
I don't know. It might be.
It was at a time, I think.
Ebbs and flows with their licenses.
Yeah. obviously I'm looking forward to Blues Part 2. Obviously.
Oh.
I mean,
I'm a bit on it. I don't know. I'm a bit on edge with that. We've got so much hate for that, by the way.
That's why we've got to give it a chance. You know, 'cause
yeah, I am. There's a few I'm looking forward to. So, firstly, I'm looking forward to Castlevania Season 5. I think whatever they're going to do about it does leave it a little bit open. Invincible Season 2. So I thought Invincible was such a good different take on Superman. Basically, is what it is. Omni-Man is basically Superman, and I thought it was a really refreshing Western superhero show. And then, of course, My Hero Season 6, which is coming out this year, end of this year, October this year. And I think that's pretty much it from me.
Yeah.
I am reading the manga, so I'm kind of every month I'm buying 2 issues every month, 2 volumes. There's about 34 volumes out at the moment, and I think Season 5 ends in volume 24. So there's actually not that much out at the moment. So when Season 6 comes out, because each season pretty much covers like 4 or 5 volumes, so by the time Season 6 comes out, they'll pretty much be almost caught up. So
the question is, when they do catch up, will you continue reading the mangas or wait for the anime? When you get to the new stuff, that's the real question.
I might read the manga.
You know, I hear a lot of people who read manga say that the manga is a lot better than the anime. Do you agree?
That's what I've heard. For a lot of animes I've heard people say over the years. They always say the manga's superior.
Now that you've
No matter what
watched
we're talking about.
My Hero Academia anime and you've read the manga, what do you think?
I've only read the first 3.5 volumes because I only got 5 and 6 like last week, and so I'm only up to halfway through the first arc of Season 2. I think the writing is better in the anime, which may be unpopular.
Okay.
I think because bear in mind that it's all translated from Japanese, they translate it to the manga, and then they've obviously read it and thought this doesn't quite sit right. I'm going to change it ever so slightly to make some of it read better. And I think the anime the manga's so fast. It's so fast. So like the fight scenes are 1 to 2 issues, which is like 20 pages. It's like so go. There's not that internal monologue as much, which I've already said is what I love so much about anime. Whereas this, the anime really slows it down and talks more about what's going on, and there's more detail in the anime because they can add it, and I think it makes a difference. And like, for example, you don't know what All Might's power is. This far in, and you have no idea. All for One has not been explained. No, One for All has not been explained at all. Really, it's all so vague. You know, maybe that might be the direction they want to go in, but by the time you're this far in the anime, you know so much more about everybody's quirks, and I just think it's better. You get more background. But this is only manga I've read and watched. But I think
Bit
the
of a
anime
different
is
medium
better.
as well, right? Books usually drag things on a lot longer than TV does. Like they want to try and get your attention fast. Like,
But then comics are fast though.
It's the other way around. It's the other way around with manga, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, like manga usually gets their point across a lot faster than like anime usually drags on. They usually like have a lot of like freeze frames, or like Lewis was saying, they have a lot of like that thought dialogue, or they have
But I like that though.
They have a lot of that like standoff where they're just looking at each other for a while, just to extend that episode time.
Builds tension and gives you exposition.
Yeah,
while
exactly.
also
I
extending
don't
time.
think My Hero does it. I think My Hero doesn't do it too much. I think that's the difference. Like, yeah, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto.
I think My Hero
Obviously-
has learned
Yeah.
from past mistakes, because Dragon Ball Z does it too much. Like there's too much time that they're just staring at each other, just like standing off, and then they've got, you know, they're showing Frieza standing off with Goku, and then it's got like a little bit of Gohan looking at them, and then Krillin's not looking at them because he's dead by this
That's that
point.
whole thing where Frieda's like, this plan's gonna blow up in 2 minutes, and then 4 episodes later they're still stood there.
5 minutes, yeah.
You're like,
It's the longest
been
5 minutes ever.
80 minutes,
Yeah.
and you've still not blown up. So Frieza,
thing-
you have no idea what's going on.
There's an
or-
explanation for that though, you know, because you know in Dragon Ball they move so fast.
Yeah.
There's actually an explanation that what you see in the anime, the way they move, is slowed down, so you can keep up with it because they move that fast. That's the theory that someone came up with.
That to me is a theory to explain bad writing.
Yeah.
Which sometimes we're gonna be like, they didn't think of that. We shouldn't take the leap. Just take it for what it is what I would say to that, which is them getting it wrong.
But at least it's a plausible theory, because
Yeah.
sometimes the bad writing you can't save it. Like what Dark Knight Rises ended that film with a nuclear bomb. It's
Oh,
got
yeah.
30 seconds to get it past a certain range in the ocean, which would have been impossible with the speed of his rotor. Not to mention he stopped and kissed, you know, right before getting into it. Just wasting 15 seconds here. Why not? You know,
And then
we've
he
got
somehow
less than a
managed
minute.
Priorities.
Yeah.
He somehow must have an eject on that bat wing that shoots him like 400 miles an hour.
Somehow survive and just escape.
Breaking the
nuke.
speed of sound. That wasn't
Yeah.
the explosion, and that wasn't the nuke. It was him breaking the speed of sound as he shot out of his bat wing.
This is some Taco Bell earlier tonight, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, that's bad writing. You can't explain it. You just gotta like, yeah, this is movie logic. You know,
Movie logic.
pretend it was 5 minutes on the timer, not a minute or less.
I think it adds to the charm. I think
Anyway,
Dragon Ball's a meme at this point because of that, because of how long they take on the episodes. But it's, you know, as a kid, you're like, oh yeah, it's cool.
Amazing.
Switch your brain off.
It was cool though, to be fair.
It was
Still
cool.
is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, in a whole, I'd say anime is actually better than manga, in my experience so far. The manga is still really good, but I do think anime just takes its time. And it depends how much you love it. Like, because I love everything about the world, all the quirks and stuff, and understanding about the complexities of them. I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
If I wasn't that into it, if it was a terrible anime, I'd be like, yeah, let's get this done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I suppose they wouldn't really be able to explain in that level of detail in a manga to begin with compared to a book.
Yeah,
a
no,
book
no.
They could go way in detail, but they can't with manga because, like you say, it's like a Japanese comic.
Yeah.
So they can't do that much detail. So it's either gonna have to be a book or a TV show to get the same level of detail.
You do get detail. Like I'm flicking through it now.
Is it coloured or black and white?
No, it's all black and white
Black
as
and
well. Yeah.
That's one thing that a lot of the animators sometimes struggle with, is getting like what the right colours are going to be.
Yeah.
Like I think the Naruto creator of the anime, he wasn't quite sure what colours to give him.
But when, like, for example, this book,
Hmm.
like, I have no. When was this printed? Let's find out.
Should be on the 4 page. Oh, right at the back.
This was, well, it was first printed in 2015. This was actually printed in June 2021. It was the 15th printing. So, like, it's a coloured cover, though. This is my point. So, like, was this colour decided for the front cover only and then straight back into black and white? Like, because if it was decided and the animation's okay, because I just don't know, because obviously this is the 15th printing. Be interesting to see what the first print was like.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think Naruto, the first print of Naruto, this color scheme is slightly different. It's one, I can't remember which one it is, but I know one of the anime, it's a different color in the anime than it is in the manga.
When you switch to Crunchyroll from Funimation, the guy who voices Deku is being hired by Crunchyroll to give you a tutorial on how to use Crunchyroll.
That's sweet.
It's quite funny. Like 3 minutes long. He's talking about like, oh, I need to find my favorite anime, my hero. Let's find it.
Nice.
I was like, yes, me too. Where is it?
I'll get it just for that. I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be about an hour and a half. I think we've covered.
Have we
pretty
asked you,
much.
Steve, what anime you're looking forward to?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Like I said, for me, it was just
Attack
Attack
on
on
Attack on
Titan.
Titan,
Attack on Titan. Yeah. I am looking forward. Well, I'm probably not looking forward to Attack on Titan as much as you are because I've not actually caught up. I've not watched season 4 at all yet, so I'm still like on season 3. I know there's like a massive time skip between season 3 and 4. So it's interesting. Like Aaron's completely different. Like even his personality is like he seems just a lot more. He either seems a lot more mature to me or a lot more emotionless. Like a lot of Aaron's journey is he has a lot of emotion. He has a lot of anger.
He's a mess at that.
And then by like season 4, the clips I've seen and stuff, he's just a lot calmer and he's a lot. I don't know if it's
stoic, composed.
And I've had like a few spoilers in like meme format.
Always happens.
And that's why you got to watch these things, Lewis, because you're gonna get spoiled eventually.
Yeah, you will.
Oh.
You will. There's already so many spoilers as well of like what certain things are and who certain people are.
Yeah, I've had things spoiled for my hero, like just by like searching characters, wanting to read about the background, and it's like, did you know this happens? And you're like, no,
Damn it!
it's not even out in the anime, so no, I didn't know that.
It's when people do it in titles and in thumbnails, man. That annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah,
Even now
does.
with Google, though, man, you can be typing in your favorite
For
character's name,
God's
from,
sake.
like you say in anime, and it'll say, like, for example, X character, and it'll say how did they die, autofill.
Yeah.
As you type it in, and you're like,
Yeah.
what the no.
Oh, what do you mean? How did they die?
Yeah, it's like no. It happens all the time.
It's horrible.
I've learned never to search anything until I've watched it completely, or go with voice search.
It's so hard though.
It is.
Because it's everywhere. You can't really do anything. Like
Tempting.
especially for us, like content creators, you go on YouTube to like see something, and it's like it's on your front page. Like you Google anything about, like if I do like Spider-Man, I got spoiled from Spider-Man from a thumbnail instantly.
Quite a lot as well. From
And I
what
was
you said
like,
in that
for
thumbnail.
God's fucking sake, why?
Spider-Man. Are you talking about No Way Home?
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
That is an absolute. There's no way you can avoid a spoiler for that if you haven't seen it now.
yeah.
You know what happens.
I've seen it.
You
I've seen
you
it
know
now.
The big
But
event in it.
yeah. But by the time I'd seen it, I already knew all the villains that were in it. I already knew all the main characters that were in it. I already knew who was gonna die. And
From one thumbnail as well.
from
All
one
this.
from two thumbnails. From two thumbnails.
Close enough.
Shocking.
It's
Just
I was raging, absolutely raging, because like one of the bits that I got spoiled was one of the things I was most looking forward to, which is like that tension, that surprise, like is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? There's been like so much surrounding all of this, and then it just got
There's
spoiled.
nothing like that. There's nothing like that feeling, is there?
Horrible, man.
It's like I said last told you before, Joe. Last time I got spoiled was in Edge Return at Royal Rumble years ago. Like I was like, I'm not going to watch this Rumble because they've been a bit crappy. I'll watch it non-live next morning.
Yeah,
Open your phone, Edge Returns at Royal Rumble, and I was like, oh no, I couldn't believe it
That
because
was-
if I watched
that
it
was-
live,
that was an epic.
if I watched
return
it
as well.
live, it was like even when I teared up when I watched it, even though I knew it was coming out, but I can't imagine what I would have felt seeing that live. I would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
off my tits.
He was meant to be retired because he had like a really bad back
10
injury,
years.
wasn't he?
neck
Neck
he had
injury,
the spinal fusion. He was never supposed to be able to wrestle ever again, and then out of nowhere, boom, he's back.
Yeah. You think you know me? I
Exactly.
love that entrance.
Metalingo
So
came out.
good.
And they got spoiled because again, people on the internet.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Not cool. Not cool,
It's not
guys.
cool.
Not cool people.
I
No
used to hate when
spoilers.
like it's not even when it's like YouTube. It's when like someone you're friends with like on your Facebook, your Instagram, like, oh my god, I can't believe this person died on this TV show. it's 10:30 and the show finished at 10 o'clock. And you're like,
You know what?
Are you taking the actual piss?
That's the ultimate anime
selfish
betrayal right there.
You know what?
My Vilnark started then.
There's a funny thing that I was watching Big Bang Theory today, and on one of the episodes, Sheldon turns around to Lennon and he was like, "Should we go and watch The Walking Dead?" And Lennon was like, "Yeah," and he said, "Oh, have you seen the bit where Laurie dies?" It's just that same feeling of like, are you serious? The right thing to do, guys, is ask, have you seen up to
Season
what
2
episode?
Yeah.
Or up to what season have you watched? What was the last scene that you watched? What was the last thing that happened when you watched this certain thing that I want to spoil for you? And then you know if it's a spoil or not.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
It's the way to do it.
I can understand that people are excited to like reveal things and like talk about things, but don't ruin it for the other person. That's like
Don't
one
be
of the,
that guy.
That's the most
girl.
dickish thing ever, and it's just everywhere now. I've been spoiled with so many things. Like it's just like you have to live under a rock not to get spoiled nowadays.
Yeah.
Honestly. Anyway, I think that wraps up. We've had our rant. We've had our discussions. We're back. The boys are back. Hopefully it'll be.
Boys are back in town.
Hopefully it'll be a bit more regular. I'm not gonna say there's gonna be a schedule because I'd just be lying to myself and also be lying to you. But we'll try and be more regular. Because we're like it's a bit of a free flow conversation now.
I've enjoyed it. I think it's been really good.
Yeah, we could just like sit down and chat, even if nobody watches. Like we still have fun. We'll watch it. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
I'll watch it with my like 500 alternate accounts. I don't care.
Yeah.
500 likes.
Yeah. That's all that matters.
Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Thank you, beautiful gentlemen, for joining me.
Anytime.
Looking forward to
Pleasure
the
as
next
always.
one. Like I said earlier on, if you guys know of anyone that would like to be a guest, or if you want to be a guest on the Anime Podcast, please DM me. Or if you have like someone that you watch on YouTube that I may not be familiar with, that's more or less around my sub range, just let me know and I'll hit them up and we may be able to do a little collab as well, because we're always looking forward to getting new people in. I always like seeing like different perspectives, especially with something as like broad as anime, because everybody has like their little 2 cents that they can give.
Their damn opinions.
Yeah, I like opinions. As long as it's not like Blood of Zeus is the best anime ever, because that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Instant ban.
Anyway.
Everyone's entitled to opinion, but not everyone's opinion's right.
Exactly.
Especially not if you think Blue Zeus is good.
I am looking forward to season 2, to be fair. I hope it redeems itself. I hope it does better. I hope it learns.
It could be the ultimate redemption story.
Would it really learn, though, because it did get good reviews for some reason? So I don't know. They may just carry on with the same formula. I don't know. Who knows?
Probably.
We'll find out on the next episode of FAP. Probably not, because, hopefully we'll do like an episode before that. But anyway, we're off. Thank you, boys. Thank you for watching. And I'll
Let's
catch
end
you.
it with a close-up of my tattoo for the souls to see. Whoa, look at that.
I am
Look
here.
at that. There we go.
That scene gave me like a tear came out of my eye when he
Yeah.
used that last bit. I'm not going to say anything else. Goodbye.
Give you a 2 sweet for Scott Hall.